Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
Well, that couldn't have gone much better, could it?
No way.
Ooh, wow. Oh, my. Best part of this is the White House they can't claim that was right-wing, MAGA Republicans doing cheap fakes. They can't claim it was edited or it was taken out of context. Americans and the world, I mean, that was broadcast all over the world on CNN International. They saw Joe Biden in all his dementia glory last night.
No kidding.
Everybody saw it for themselves, finally. There's no denying it. We all saw it this time. We know it was live. We know it actually happened. Now, of course, they're already trying to spin this, trying to blow it off. The president had a cold. He had a cold? Did the cold shoot straight to his brain and render him totally confused with Alzheimer's disease? This is a bad cold.
Bad cold.
Somebody should call a doctor now. He has a cold. That's as bad as that. Well, he was dehydrated. Yeah. For Mitch McConnell. Oh, he was dehydrated. Really? That causes you to freeze in place for a minute or two at a time? All right.
I will say this. Do not spend another week at Camp David if that's the disease you get from going there.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was a week
that's
of
another
intense debate prep.
Yeah, he did nothing else, really. He left Washington, D.C., went to Camp David. They worked on it for 7 days, and this is what they delivered. Oof. It's incredible. I guess there's no medication that can save him.
Right. He could not have been on the same drugs that he was on for the State of the Union. Either that or they have lost their effect completely.
The cocktail,
right. The cocktail
loses its punch.
Right.
Believe me.
Right.
Believe me.
Also, since the State of the Union, there's been further digression.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
You know.
Oh, yes.
He gets worse all the time.
Oh, yes. I watched a clip when he first took office. When he first took office, not prior to that, the earlier clips that we played, but when he first took office, he was signing all the executive orders, getting rid of all the Trump executive orders. And he had his mask on, we were in COVID. And the decline from that to now is dramatic.
It really is.
But the decline from the last 6 months is
even more dramatic.
Yeah.
It's almost as if
it's exponential now.
Somebody or some bodies saw this coming.
It's almost like that.
But nobody could have, because why would he be running if that were the case?
My word.
We got to get into that and the reaction from Democrats.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll talk about all that. But do we have when he first walked out there? But I mean, I know we've got 1,000 clips to play, so maybe you didn't bother with that. But as he's walking out, I hate the way he walks.
Right.
I hate the way he talks.
I hate
the way he looks. I hate the way he sounds. I hate the way he lies. I hate the way he panders. I hate his racism. I hate his extreme liberalism. I hate everything about this guy.
You're talking about Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yes. I hate Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Sam, I am.
Except I don't hate him. I just dislike him with all the intensity of 10 trillion white hot burning
we're up to 10 trillion?
10 trillion.
I will say,
white hot burning suns.
How many?
I tried not to hate him.
Yeah.
I tried.
It's impossible.
But when he walks out on stage and he gives you that, and he looks like that surprised look of, there's the podium. Where's the podium? That's the podium.
How you
doing,
folks?
Stop it.
That's what he mumbled to the camera. How you doing, folks?
Better than you. That's for sure.
I will say, though, congrats to him for not giving us a fake jog to the podium. That's
thank you for that. Yeah, because I hate the fake jog.
He might not be able to do that anymore.
I hate the don't jump. I hate the fake stories.
Hold on.
He
Jeffy.
might not.
Hold on.
He might not be able to do the fake job anymore.
He does after the debate.
Oh.
We have a video.
Get out of here. I missed the
By the way, the stuff after the debate, which I didn't stick around for, I'm told is better than the stuff during the debate.
Is.
So hang on for that.
You're talking about
we will get to that.
In meltdown mode right now.
Oh my gosh. The panic is palpable.
And you know what? Good.
I know.
Say,
absolutely. They deserve it.
These are the same people who have been lying to us for years.
Can I just say, Biden was so bad, he may have been too bad because now
He's so bad he was good. It's like climate change. It's
honestly,
Yeah,
hot.
but now
It's
we're
cold.
does anybody think that this man, I'm sticking to my guns, is going to be on the ballot in November?
No.
Okay, no, right?
No,
because
he
he
can't
was
be.
so bad.
Well, here's the problem, though. He has to step aside, essentially.
Yeah,
There's no
it's
mechanism
his to lose.
to remove
Right.
him. And I think he is too egomaniacal, and so is
So
Jill.
is Jill. Yes.
The two of them together can't stand not absolutely grasping the power
Yes,
that they've
and they
attained.
hate Donald Trump.
Oh, my gosh.
So much.
That was clear that these two guys hate each other.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah. Well, I
Good.
mean, it's understandable, especially from Trump to Biden. But Biden, for whatever reason,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you
he
talk about
just
Trump
hates him.
derangement syndrome.
He's got it. I was so happy that people were
He's in
commenting.
stage
I
4.
can't believe they didn't shake hands.
Yeah,
I
oh,
was.
please.
I was.
They would have been
happy that
disingenuous.
Yes, I was happy. I was, no, do
you
not
go.
even walk over there to shake his
Right.
Here's his walk that you were
okay, good.
wanting to see here.
Here we go.
Oh, they're there. Yeah,
Yeah,
the podium
the
that you
podium,
called to go to,
stupid.
that you flipped a coin to go to.
But
Now-
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Compare it with, a normal walk of Donald Trump.
And
Like,
now he swaggers. So great. Yeah, I'm here.
man.
So different. So obviously different. No denying it. Now,
there
there's
isn't.
no denying
Like
it.
I said, man, it was
I love it.
too bad.
And the side by sides all night. And obviously, we'll play them.
I'm telling you,
but
man,
The side by sides all night.
The
were
CNN
great.
parameters
All-
really
it helped
benefited
For the
Trump.
most of the
Yeah,
night, most
it
of the
helped.
night, all I heard was Keith saying
Close your mouth, old man.
all night in my head.
Oh,
Which, by the way, Keith,
Yeah.
the post-debate coverage, every single talking head was talking about why does he have his mouth open the entire time?
Really?
Wait, now you're noticing that he has his mouth open because
Where
that's
have
all
you
he
people
did.
been?
I don't know.
I was like, I have a friend that will not stop saying it.
Yeah.
Close your mouth, old man.
but
It's incredible.
But to Jeffy's point, the split screen benefited Trump.
Yes.
The microphone
Yes.
mute, like we
Really
said,
benefited
Trump.
Yes.
And we predicted that.
Yes.
By the way, because it gave Biden a chance to continue to mumble.
Yes,
Yes.
because there was
And
no
lose
risk,
his train.
There was no risk in Trump talking over him or
You're right.
whatever.
Right.
Just let the old man
Let it happen.
do this to himself.
You bet.
And the best
he
thing
did.
was
He
when they
did.
were like, Biden, you still have 41 seconds. We care to add more? Yes, let me add more. But you didn't add more, bro. You just rambled.
I will say that the format also gave them ample time. It's not like
Yeah.
they're limited to 30
No,
seconds.
it wasn't bad. CNN
It was
did an
pretty good.
okay job.
Yeah.
CNN did an okay
It
job.
worked out really well.
I wish they would have showed the countdown clock because it would have made some of those transitions less awkward. Mm-hmm. Like I'm okay with Biden looking awkward because he is awkward, but there were times like where he would finish it. Thank you, Mr. President Biden, and that's just because the clock was out. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounded so awkward, but
Yeah.
would have been less awkward had we seen the clock. Mm-hmm. And speaking of CNN, by the way, just a side note, I know that they love America, but they wouldn't want to put a red, white, and blue flag anywhere on the debate stage or
No,
on the
you wouldn't want that.
screen
You
or
wouldn't want
in
that.
their logo or anything like that.
You know why? They associate the American flag with Donald Trumpism.
Oh, they both were
With
wearing
Donald
one.
Trump and MAGA Republicanism.
They both were wearing one. That's the only flags I saw.
But the left hates America so much they can't even stand looking at the flag.
Yeah.
It's really something.
Presumably, I thought at least the logo would have some kind of waving flag behind it, something.
Yeah.
Nope.
It wasn't 2 minutes into that debate last night when Gavin Newsom's phone started ringing. Either that
Well, he
or
was
Michelle
there, right?
Obama.
He was across the street, right?
He was there. He was part of the spin room. And
Yeah.
What time's the conference call this morning between
he said
him and
he said
DNC?
Probably
he's
going on
sticking
right now.
behind Biden.
Yeah.
He said
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
multiple
what they're
times.
all
Like,
saying now.
He's
Well,
our
he has to
nominee.
say that.
Yes, yes, he does.
Right.
Has to say.
Yes.
Ooh.
There's nothing else you can say the next morning, but as time goes on, yeah, the truth will come
I
out.
stand behind you, buddy.
Uh-huh.
This guy really sucks. So why don't you just nominate me?
I stand behind you with a machete about to bring down on your back and slice you in half
No,
so that I
he's
can
probably
step
already
up.
been doing that for sure.
Wow. Well, here then is the opening statement of last night's great debate from Joe Biden.
President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120.
Pause it.
And typical
Okay, there's your first lie of the night.
Thank you.
A basket of groceries that cost $100 now costs $120. Please.
No, Jake, no.
I don't know what you're buying, but I think they're going by the it's gone up 20% thing. That's bull.
No, what was the guy yesterday? 126 to 414?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that's more like it. And that's more like it. I mean, it's at least doubled. It's at least doubled for everything.
Easily. All right, let's see the rest.
$20. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%.
That's not
what do you
wrong.
say to voters
They're
who
more
feel
than
they
that,
are
way
worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left.
That's what he was just talking
We
about.
had an economy that was in free fall.
No.
The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm.
Oh, my
It's
gosh.
all right.
Oh, my gosh. Right off the bat.
He memorized this whole thing, and it sucked.
Yeah. It's such a lie that he told people to inject bleach. And I don't remember Trump really picking up on that. I wish he would have, because I'm so sick of these lies that they repeat over and over and over again. And he did try to address them,
Yes,
but they
he
come
did.
at you so fast and furiously that it's really hard
to keep up with all the lies.
To keep up.
I know.
You can't. You'd have to stop him and address each one as it spills out of his stupid mouth, but you can't. You can't. His mic is muted, so...
It would have been awesome if he just said, okay, my mic is muted. I'm just going to come over and use your mic. Okay, that's a lie.
All right, here he is.
Collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again.
Memorize.
That's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out
15,000?
a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing
What
jobs.
he meant was, okay, there's your first stat that he can't do.
He can't do numbers.
Because their number that they lie about all the time is 15 million, not 15,000.
There's a better one with numbers later on in this. He can't do them. He can't. He can't.
He's incapable.
There's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household
Here we go.
where the kitchen
Bingo
table,
square.
if the
It's about him.
things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs,
we're
the
on the
price of
kitchen
gas,
table.
the
We
price
got
of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems.
Are you?
And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we
How are you
build
going to
2
reduce
million
the
new
price of
units.
housing?
He
We're
just
going to
said
make
he's
sure we
gonna
cap
do it.
rents.
I don't know what's your
Corporate
problem.
greed can't take over. The combination that was left within corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now.
Oh, there you go.
In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue
After you
for many
jacked it
people,
up, a-hole.
to $15 for a insulin shot
There it is.
as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they conclude beginning
That's a
next
lie.
year.
That's not true.
And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
And that's it. Okay, you've had almost 4 years now, but you're going to get this done?
Yeah.
Dude.
Give him some
No.
time, Pat.
Well, I mean, he's been in Washington only those 4 years.
Only 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't expect anything by this time, right? It's just one term. He's got to do like 6 terms to get this thing done. It's unbelievable. So that's Biden's opening statement. Here's Donald Trump's.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
There you go.
Yeah, he should have brought up the actual numbers about the kinds of jobs they're bragging about, which are all part-time jobs. We've lost 1.5 million full-time jobs just in the last year. That would have been a nice stat to throw out there, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He didn't need to do much. Biden did all the work for him last night because he was so terrible. Just so bad. All right, let me tell you about Eden Pure thunderstorms. If you got smells, you got odors, you got mold, you got mildew, you got stuff floating around in the air that you don't want, you don't need, you got to get the Eden Pure thunderstorm. Really easy to install. Pop up the plug-in, stick it in the wall, and you turn it on, and it does the work for you in seconds. Gets rid of really strong food smells, or maybe you got garbage piled up and it's smelly, pet odors, whatever the case may be in your home. This is going to take care of it with O3 molecules that go out and gobble up all that stuff. You don't have to worry about filters.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's great.
That's my favorite thing.
I would have
about
never
the Eden
guessed.
Pure.
Yeah, you don't have to replace filters.
No filters.
Don't have to pay for filters. There are no filters.
Awesome.
In this little unit. And right now, get $200 off a 3-pack for whole home protection. EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAT3 to save the $200. EDEN, EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAT3.
So no filters, huh?
That gray is unleashed.
All right. Quite a debate last night. Pretty much everything I hoped for. I mean, yes, it could have been, he could have completely melted down and just left the stage. He got so frustrated.
Yeah.
I think
wandered off.
50-50 that was going to happen at some point.
No kidding.
It was close.
I feel like there were a couple of times when Trump really made him angry.
Oh,
and
gosh.
if there was a little bit more time on that clock,
Holy
that
cow.
anger would have overtaken him,
was
and we would
fake
have
anger,
have
though.
looked even worse.
It's just this fake anger. Like, he almost cried. It was just, unattractive.
Yeah. We just don't, we think he's less than an optimal president.
No doubt about that.
I would say suboptimal.
Suboptimal.
That's what I would say. No George Washington. Certainly not a Ronald Reagan. So here's Biden attacking Trump's presidency. This is all he had, really.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that
Here we go.
we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that.
He's got
when
balls
he was president, we were
talking
still
about
finding ourselves in a
Afghanistan, I'll tell you
position
that.
where
Yeah, that's
you had
Trump
the
missed an
notion that
opportunity there.
we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world.
What
like
are
he
you
did.
talking
This
about?
century, this decade,
Can't do
this
numbers.
minute, this second. I'm the first president
what
of the
happened
second
at-
that hasn't started a war.
That's something there. But do you know what happened at Abbeygate, bro? I mean, this guy. And then you checked your watch when they came
him-
home. What are you talking about?
For him to mention Afghanistan.
That's where I wish Trump had said that in response, and he missed that.
And he brings up Afghanistan again, and Trump
Yes,
does,
he does.
go over some of it, but you could have really hammered him on that relentlessly.
Right out of the gate. Because the majority of people watching are only watching the first 30 minutes.
Yep.
And that right there in the opening, everybody knows what happened in Afghanistan at the airport. Mm-hmm. That would have been a good spot for that, for sure. But, I mean,
Yeah.
he still won. Trump still won
Oh,
handily.
my gosh.
But still, I was screaming at the TV.
Here's Trump attacking back. Here's what he had to say.
You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down, and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power.
Yes.
He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
One of, that's for sure.
No question. No question. That was one of the biggest debacles in U.S. history.
And we're still paying for it.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Then Trump gets into the COVID deaths.
We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration,
in the first
even
year.
though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration.
Yes.
He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation.
Open borders.
And it's a shame.
Open
the
borders.
damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
Right.
As an aside, I'd like to point out that the more deaths occurred under Biden after this magical vaccine than both of those men love.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
It is.
It is.
It is.
The vaccine is one of the problem areas for us with Donald Trump. But,
And really, I mean, the more deaths under the Biden regime is, it probably may have happened if Trump was reelected as well. You know what I mean? Those numbers.
Yeah.
He's been trying to make the case that would not happen.
He's taking a talking point from Biden.
No question.
Right,
and using it against him.
Absolutely.
I mean, Joe Biden constantly said and tweeted, he tweeted, that hey, if you make me president, because he used that as a talking point to say Trump should have been out of office.
Yeah.
No, not this many people shouldn't be dying under any president's watch. Elect me, and I'll stop it. Ugh.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Well, he said any president, wasn't the number 200,000? Any president who has overseen the deaths of 200,000 Americans doesn't deserve to be president. And then something like 400,000 died under him in the same time period. In just that same time period. It's, unbelievable. Okay, is this where he first melts down? Biden fumbles. Trump
he ends this
hits
answer.
back on,
I'm pretty sure
on
this
Medicare.
Is the Medicare answer.
All right.
Oh, boy.
This is like 5 minutes in. Here's what happened.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Listen to Trump. Listen to Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare. Because all of these people are coming
Roll
in.
back to about the last 30 seconds. Go back to about the last 30 seconds. That's worth listening to.
It is. And
it's amazing what happens here.
This scene is kind of what I'm talking about with I wish they had the timer clock on the screen.
No, I don't.
Well, I know, but I mean
no excuses.
I know, but he's wrapping up, right? The clock is at 0, and so it would make it less awkward. Although
I don't want it to be less awkward. I know. It's
Jeffy,
great.
are you working for Biden? We like the no clock.
Are you working for Biden? No. You see.
We want him to suck as much as he sucks.
I mean, they're his rules. We're playing by his rules.
Yep. And it worked out beautifully. All right, so here's the last whatever to just enjoy again.
Solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Wow. I love the squeaking.
He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying
Dead
Medicare.
silent. All right, I got it.
Because
dead silent, and that's is awesome.
That's the cold.
It's awesome.
Oh,
he's got a cold.
We're in the spin room over here.
That's the phlegm.
We're in the Biden spin room with Jeffy. He had a cold.
I mean,
gotta
holy
let
cow.
it go.
The look on Trump's face, so he just turns his head a couple times like, what? Uh-oh. He's melting down, man.
Jeez.
It's happening.
Yeah, speaking of turning heads,
in real time.
What is it with Biden constantly looking
to
over
the
here?
left?
The
Yeah.
moderators are here. Trump's here. What are you doing? What's over there?
I continued to look at the left. I don't know.
Cue
I
cards.
didn't understand
Cue
that.
cards.
An advisor?
Maybe.
Giving him hand signals?
Jill?
I don't know.
Jill.
I don't know. He's looking for help.
Yeah, it was just really
Nobody can help
strange.
you up there. That's the beauty of this debate. Nobody could help him. Not the audience. No advisors. They couldn't have things in their ears, supposedly, although he seemed to be continually touching his ear like there was an earpiece in there. I don't know. But
We've all had a cold and had to struggle with our ear.
yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Did you want to skip down, or do you want to keep going? Because
some have made the case. Speaking of that earpiece, some have made the case that he may not have had an earpiece last night, but since he's gotten so used to having an earpiece, he could be feeling
Force of
for
habit.
It. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
when he starts to struggle, he goes to the earpiece.
Yeah.
Looking at the clock here, I'm just wondering if you want to skip ahead to the Biden on the border and Trump in Texas.
Now we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a minute.
There's so much more good stuff.
Much.
I know. Good. There's a lot of good stuff.
You could spend a week on that debate.
And we might.
I mean, if the show were 5 hours, we'd spend all 5 on this particular topic because it was the most important debate, I think, in American history.
It certainly showed the dramatic difference between both men. That's for sure.
There was so much old on the right side of the screen last night.
I mean,
yeah, and they keep saying,
they're
both old.
I was just going to say, now since I'm in the Biden spin room, they're both old.
They're both old, but the difference is stunning.
Yes, I mean, it's like, holy cow.
Mentally, they're about 50 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to whoever had to transcribe Joe Biden's answers last night.
That's a tough job. That is a really tough job.
Does it say inaudible squeak?
Oh, you know what?
Inaudible squeak.
I need to look up CNN, because CNN does a good job of posting their transcripts. Yeah. Transcript debate.
Inaudible squeaking.
Look.
Okay, I found it.
We finally beat Medicare. Okay. You beat Medicare.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's not a joke.
Thank you for beating Medicare. We've been fighting it for so long.
Okay, I haven't read this yet, but here's on CNN.com transcript. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Oh, yeah, no inaudible squeak.
Wow, that's good. That is powerful.
That is.
When you hear it just that way. Much more coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Right. An exact quote from Joe Biden last night. Exact quote. There it is again. Powerful. Powerful. And I'm quoting it again. Keep in mind, these are not my thoughts.
It's a direct quote.
A direct quote from Joe Biden. Unquote.
By the way, can I just say that after if voting was last night, we actually know what the electoral map would look like if voting were last night.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
538 to 0.
You see some red there?
a little bit of red. 538. And then the Democrats, Biden is at, what is that? Do you want to carry the one, Pat?
Yeah, let me. None. 0.
Wow.
0. No delegates.
You did carry the one?
I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
Ooh.
Holy cow. All right, we got some tweets here. George Jussel tweets, Biden does not need a cognitive test. He failed one last night.
No kidding.
From Phil Sharp, he had a cold. That explains him freezing up. See, it was real cold. Get it? Huh? Yeah. Thomas Nicholas, the GOP should immediately start running anti-Newsom ads. Pretend Biden isn't even running. Yuri Boop Bob Beep. Ducey needs to ask KJP if what we saw on CNN last night was a cheap fake.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd love that. That would be awesome to put it just that way. Oh. D Matters 7. Joe Biden can do numbers as long as it's 10% for the big guy. Yeah, those numbers he's okay with. Nicole Archer, groceries have quadrupled.
Yeah.
From Bad Engineer, did y'all catch Trump calling him Brandon? And we were just talking about that during the break.
I don't know what clip that is, but I did catch that last night.
I did not. I didn't hear him call him Brandon.
From Ben Burner 24, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jake Tapper and Dana Bash did a better job moderating a Trump debate than Chris Wallace did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Yeah, I think that's true, yeah. I mean, Jake was in
They were not as bad as I thought they would be.
No, and Jake was in his $10,000 suit, looking good.
Yeah.
Dana should have upped her game a little bit, but, okay.
What are you going to do?
Oh, and the questions. Yeah, they were okay, too.
There was a brilliant tweet from Mike Lee yesterday where he tweeted out this fake quote from Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper suggested that he would remain completely unbiased in the debate between President Biden and Donald Adolf Hitler Trump.
Right.
It is so good. Donald Adolf Hitler Trump. That is the kind of bias that they have.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's what they do.
Did they ever call him former President Trump?
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to it, but
I don't know.
That reminded me that I don't know that I heard them much. But okay, I mean, that's all right.
Interesting discussion on Roe v. Wade during the debate last night. Trump touted his success with overturning Roe v. Wade.
Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision
right
to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill.
Right.
And I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Okay.
I will say that whole you got to get elected thing, that was like, oh, what are we doing here? But then for him to bring up late-term abortion and murdering the baby afterward, that
was good.
It was a good way to end that.
Now, Biden lied by saying that they're not in favor of late-term abortions. That's a flat-out lie. They have never said there should be any kind of limit on the amount of time you can abort the baby. Democrats have fought against that in recent years every single time, including him. So he lied through his teeth, as he always does, about even that. I mean, at least Trump was honest.
Yeah, right.
And he said the quiet part out loud. You got to get elected, so this is my stance so I can get elected. It's a little problematic.
Well, then he remembered he wasn't at a rally.
Yeah.
And he came back to the debate.
Yeah.
So then he went into illegal immigration, killing citizens.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing.
Yep. So then Biden gets into the border, and Trump jumps on his fumbling here.
Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed me, endorsed my position.
That is.
In addition to
Pause
that,
it for a second. I think that's a flat-out lie, isn't it?
Well,
okay.
Yes.
So I
they
don't
both
know.
claimed the Border Patrol endorsed them.
So let's put up the Border Patrol Union tweet, please, because they immediately responded
following
last
this?
night. Yep.
To be clear, we have never and never will endorse Biden.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there's that, and then also just a quick housekeeping on him referring to him as Brandon. I went to the transcript and Control F Brandon, and he's actually referring to Brandon Judd. So the way Trump said that, I picked it up like other people that he was calling. He goes, but I won't say that. But they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. So
he's okay. He's talking about the Border Patrol
Brandon
head.
Judd,
Yeah. But that's great that they tweeted that right out.
Yes.
Yep.
Good for you. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's finish this up.
In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure
that was
the
President
families were
my
separated.
boss.
That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened, I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to do until we get the total.
Another lie.
Lie after the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
I love it. Do we have that clip We've got so many. So
it's a little confusing here.
It is.
And that 40% number,
it's
first
garbage.
of all, whether that's even close to being true.
No, it isn't.
But
it just isn't.
They changed. They've been flying illegals in from other countries to avoid the border, so that the border numbers go down. I don't know that they've gone down 40%, like he said, but they have gone down. But one of the reasons is they're flying.
No, they've gone down from his high numbers. They have not gone down from the Trump numbers at all.
But the only reason they've gone down is because they're bringing them in other ways.
Yes. Well, that is true. Yeah, that is true. Any success he can claim on the border is easily explained.
It's just a wash, yeah.
Because it's not a success.
No, it is not.
It's just bad or worse somewhere else along the border. But I was wondering about do we have the clip where he jumps from abortion?
Let's see here.
To immigration.
I don't know, Joe.
Confuses the two.
We've got multiple sheets in here. On the latest set, there's two clips, 10 and 11. Do you have those, Joe? I don't know. We might have to come back to that, Pat. Not
okay.
positive.
Yeah, we'll find that because that is significant. That was a significant screw up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was a
He
wild
got
moment.
totally confused about who's killing whom and what's happening on abortion compared to what's happening with it was really bad. It was really embarrassing. The guy just melted down during this debate, and there's no denying it. That's the good thing. You can deny it, but everybody knows you're lying.
They've got to find a way to be. The panic last night. I don't know that any of them could have slept.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Total panic for them. And one of the issues they discussed was the abortion topic, and that's where preborn comes in right now, because even though the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, we had more abortions last year than I think in the last 40 or 50 years. There was over 1 million babies that were aborted last year. And that's because the left has gotten so radical. They're celebrating abortions. They're encouraging abortions. They're cheerleading for abortion.
Just take a pill.
It's unbelievable. So if you could help preborn save these babies, please do. Make your best gift by dialing pound 250, and then you say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby. And then your donation allows preborn to show these expectant mothers in crisis their ultrasound, which costs $28. So if you can contribute $28, that would buy a woman an ultrasound and really make a difference in their life. It doubles the baby's chances at being born alive. Preborn.com or pound 250, keyword baby, or preborn.com/Pat.
That gray is unleashed.
There's just so much here that, it's really provided months worth of topics here because there was so much going on last night. Not just the meltdown of Joe Biden, but the lies from Joe Biden.
Yes.
And everybody, the only thing Democrats have to say is, well, Donald Trump lied every time. No, he didn't. Now, you might disagree with the things he's saying. You may not have researched some of the things he said, and you know how he speaks.
Yes.
He speaks with hyperbole. And so some of those comments that are just offhanded, he's just shooting from the hip.
Everybody was for that.
Yeah,
Everybody's
right.
for that.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have died, or whatever it was he said a few times. It's imprecise speech. But that's Donald Trump.
Yes.
That's Donald Trump. That's the way he speaks. But, man, that's all they had to jump on, so they did. Here the two of them are clashing on veterans.
He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. Mm-hmm. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Joyce, that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did, and I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy.
Yep.
But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden?
a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one.
No.
For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now.
There we go.
And he opposed, his group opposed
Burn
that.
pits.
We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq.
Here we go.
Living one next to one of those
about
burn
you.
pits. Came back
can't
with
mention
stage
burn
4
pits without
glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery.
Pause it for a second. And this is where, when they came home, you had when soldiers came home from Afghanistan, you love these people so much. You love the veterans so much, and you support them that you checked your watch 3 times during the ceremony.
Right. Right. And then he's talking now about it just being over to France.
Yeah.
I seem to remember him leaving and watching Macron congratulate and talk to all the older veterans.
Yeah, he couldn't wait to get out of there.
Correct.
All right,
he even said to Macron, "Hey, I got to leave early. My people are telling me I got to leave early."
Yeah, and he did.
Yeah, and he did.
He did.
Here he is.
Right.
And I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery.
funerals that died?
World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have.
Right. I mean,
hello.
Another good point to bring up the watch.
Yeah, right. But
I know
he didn't.
I know.
Wish he would have.
I wanted him to bring that up there, especially.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm the one. Mm-hmm. You're the one looking at your watch when these young men are coming home from your botched withdrawal out of Afghanistan, sir. Oh my gosh, it was agonizing.
Yeah, there were some opportunities there to really put the hammer down. But again, Biden did enough all by himself. He could have been on that stage by himself and been a disaster.
I hope we have more quotes coming from President Biden.
We have this one.
We do.
Unquote.
Pat Gray.
Again?
Unleashed.
Yeah.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
And how? And a great Friday morning it is. Post-debate last night, which went just as we had hoped. It showed Joe Biden for who he really is.
I mean, it was almost worse than I thought.
Really? Well, I mean, we all thought he's capable of completely imploding. But
which he didn't really do, but he kind of did.
Kind of did. Yeah, he kind of did. I mean, the point where Democrats can't deny it.
I mean, he just looked terrible.
Yes, he did.
He just looked terrible.
Looked terrible, sounded terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
lied through his teeth. Well, every time he opened his mouth, of course.
Do you have his quote again? Because I forgot his quote.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
He said, quote, unquote.
Huh. Riveting.
Riveting, right?
That's one of the
right. I mean, I'm a little afraid of that because that's a powerful quote. So
it's a powerful quote.
Again, if you missed it, it's quote. Unquote.
That wasn't all bad.
No, I mean, yeah, he had his moments.
Yes.
That one, for instance. They went back and forth on abortion quite a bit. Here's some of that debate.
Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation.
Wait.
The third.
Wait, what? It's between the doctor and an extreme situation, so the woman's not even involved in this time. And again, it's not the trimester, it's the time. Mm-hmm. So the first time is the woman doctor. The second time is the doctor and an extreme situation that apparently doesn't involve the woman.
Time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state.
And then the woman and the state get together. Is that the governor? Does the woman go to the governor and they have this discussion and she says, you know what, I'm pregnant. It's kind of an inconvenient time. Governor Abbott, what can we do here? How do we work this out? Or is it like a panel? Do they have a state panel that sits there and listens to her grievances?
Yeah, the abortion panel.
Yeah, the abortion panel. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
Oh,
So
all right.
that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run,
Here comes
take
a
it
lie
after birth. Again,
Joe
the governor,
Biden.
former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
You're lying. That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that.
The original ruling on Roe v. Wade did not, but over time it became that.
Yes.
The original Roe v. Wade did have a limit on when you can do abortions, but many states took it into their hands and took away those limits. And so what he is saying is a lie, because there were states where you could do the late-term abortions.
It's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen.
It's not true.
We are not for late-term abortion, period.
Again, not true.
Period.
He just
Really?
put 3 periods on it, Pat, so...
Then is it an ellipsis at that point?
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, it's period.
I really want to see somebody challenge him on that. All right, so you guys are for limits on when a woman can get abortion, because they will never admit to it.
And then ask them where the line is.
Yeah, where is that time limit?
Same thing with minimum wage. Okay, then what's the perfect number?
Is it the 3rd trimester? I mean, okay, let's give you the exception on woman's life in danger. Okay, other than that, can you have an abortion in the 3rd trimester? Can you have an abortion in the 2nd trimester? Or is it limited to the 1st?
Well, it's limited to the mother and a doc.
Right, and then
the
the doctor and an extreme situation. Like if he has to deal with a hurricane or something, I guess the two of them counsel on that.
And then the woman.
The 3rd is the woman and the state. So we don't know if that's the governor or some sort of abortion panel.
No,
we don't know.
It doesn't matter the common sense or whatever. If you draw a line on abortion at any point, the demons
They're gonna jump
in
all
that
over you.
party will
Yeah.
be all over him. Thanks
Absolutely.
to CNN for this audio, by the way.
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For
You're right
51
about that.
years, that was the law. 51 years.
For about 75 years, slavery was the law. Does that mean it shouldn't have been stopped? What a dumbass thing to say. For 51 years, that was the law. So it's good? So I guess Jim Crow laws were good because they lasted a long time. The slavery was good because it lasted a long time. It's just so stupid. What a ridiculous argument.
Social scholarship said it was the right way to go.
The scholarships
said it was the right way to go.
Right way to go.
51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? In fact,
he comes up with this.
If the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board.
They're not going to do that.
6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it.
He's already said
He'll
no.
sign it.
No, he said he would not sign it. Said he wouldn't. Not going to sign that. So, okay. It's just a lie. I mean, it's not my favorite position of his, but I really I can't take the lies.
I know. And Trump said something about the founders, too, not covering abortion. And
no, they did, though.
They did.
Yeah. When you could detect the heartbeat,
right,
it was illegal.
Yes.
Because that's the only way they had to go at the time. They didn't have ultrasounds.
The quickening or something like that.
Yeah, the quickening. When you can feel the baby kicking in your stomach, then, it can't happen. Right. That's life. And that's the only way they could deal with it. Because I guess during the founding of this country, there were apparently a lot of broken ultrasound machines.
What?
And yeah, I guess they broke down a lot back then. We fixed them since, but at the time, they were difficult to work with.
Actually, I believe they realized that there were many females getting abortions in France at the time. Right, and that's what they did. They wanted. They were like, "Ooh, no,
yeah,
we didn't want to be doing that."
Yeah. So then there's this weird part of Biden claiming that lots of people, I guess, are raped by their in-laws.
Oh boy!
Oh, this is awesome.
In-law rape
What
is something we haven't dealt with enough.
Oh, we have not. I will say that.
There we go.
We
has not been dealt with enough.
Buckle up. This is the moment.
Cut 9.
Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral.
Wait,
pause it for a second.
Because here's what I was talking about.
He's coming out.
He's mixing up abortion and immigration.
Yeah, but Trump mentioned
he talked to the mother.
He had talked to the mother of the 12-year-old girl.
He didn't say he went to the funeral, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we know he was
there. And then Biden is. This is the weirdest.
He's conflating the two.
Yeah,
so bizarre. Start this over. That is so bizarre. Oh, God. Here we are talking about abortion, late-term abortions, rape of in-laws, or in-laws raping lots and lots of women, and then it goes to this.
Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered.
Wait,
and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about that, but here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters. It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Time's up. Thank you. We're done.
Thank you.
I'm going to save you. Thank you.
That had to be tough for Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, because he's not making any sense, and all they can do is say, thank you.
Thank you.
We're moving on now.
Does anyone have a camera in the Democrats' spin room at that moment?
Oh, I know.
They had to have been losing their mind.
This ex-post from Russell Brand. We're 17 minutes in. Joe Biden is discussing the problem of people being raped by their brothers and sisters.
And spouses.
Which is quite an extraordinary yet niche topic to discuss.
That's good. I'm glad he said 17 minutes in. Because, again, that is the major part of the audience. That's your undecided voters. That's people that casually follow politics are watching early on and saw that and were like, what was that?
It's priceless.
I tell you.
That debate last night was priceless because it proved everything we've been saying for the last 4 years, and especially concentrating on these last 6 months, where his degradation, his mental capacity has diminished so badly that you can call it a cheap fake, I guess, if you want. But
they can't do that.
They can't do that on this.
They can't do that any longer. And
they can't do it from last night.
These same people that have been, when we get to the post-debate coverage, these are the same people that have been telling us for how long that he's sharp.
Oh, he's fine.
Behind the scenes,
sharpest guy in the room.
He is doing jumping jacks.
Kidding me?
Backflips, and then he's breaking down foreign policy like nobody I've ever seen.
CNN's
unbelievable.
CNN's Chris Cillizza last night. This is mind-numbing to me. He said, let me see. Where do I have that? Okay, he said, that's not it either. Where did I have that? Chris Cillizza quote. Okay, he said, look, this debate was a total and complete disaster for Biden. He looked old. His answers trailed off repeatedly. He was hard to understand. He would stop in mid-sentence and move on to something else. I never, he emphasized and capitalized every letter, I never thought he would be this bad. Stunning. Truly. No, what is stunning, Chris, is where have you been?
Thank you.
Welcome to planet Earth. We have been telling you this for years.
And documenting it. I'm just documenting it every time.
It's gotten to the point where every day we're going through a dozen Biden clips going, do we want to do Biden clips again?
We're saying, there it is again. Yeah. I mean, we're tired of seeing it.
Right. I mean, is nobody watching this? How are you running this guy for president?
It's top 40 radio. I don't care. I can't play that song again. and they're requesting it again.
Yes.
Exactly.
I did think that Trump, I don't know if you want to play this, Trump's answer about January 6th was as good as it could have been. I don't know if you want to do that here, but clip 16, you want to hit that here?
All right.
Okay.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected.
Yep.
And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody.
I
said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say. But she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
She did say that.
We have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. We have to have peace.
There you go.
So go home. We love you, but go home and go home in peace.
There it is.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have.
And we should have.
This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that
she's so stupid.
should we call the Capitol Police?
Dumbest witch.
I mean, the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Oh.
It's a good question. So her office turned it down.
That,
She
that
didn't
is
even
not
know.
a question of how they had been.
You see
They
that?
don't know.
You see that?
They
Yeah.
clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Yep.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around this. You know, if you're paying attention at all, the Democrats have to go. They just have to go. This administration has to end November 5th.
I mean, these people have been in office way too long.
Oh, my gosh.
Way too long.
Thank heaven she's at least not Speaker of the House anymore. All right, let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. You know, there's good agents and there's bad agents. Glenn ran into a really bad agent about 12 years ago, I guess, in Connecticut, or a little longer than that, when he was trying to sell his Connecticut home. And I think they used somebody that I don't know, some friend or friend of a friend, somebody recommended. Did not work out well.
No.
And he wound up selling his house in Connecticut for $39.95.
That still shocks me every time you say that.
Isn't it?
Well,
Did they
it
show up
should.
with a coupon or something?
New Canaan, I don't know if they had a coupon. I don't even know if it took a coupon. I think it was just bad real estate work there.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
is. Bad real estate.
Yeah. And so in New Canaan, Connecticut, can you imagine selling a home for $39.90? Somebody got a really good deal.
Yes, they did.
But Glenn didn't want that to happen to you. So he started Real Estate Agents I Trust. These are people you could trust, people who know what they're doing, people with great track records and marketing plans, and going to work with you to take some of the stress away from selling your home or buying one. You want to get the most home for your money, too, on the other end. RealestateAgentsITrust.com. The name says it all. RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
Pat Gray. Join the conversation. 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll be right back.
All right, I hope you watched the debate last night because, well, it just went like
I did watch it.
You did
last
watch
night.
it.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, I was hoping you did, and apparently
I know,
you did.
I did. Thank
What'd you think? What were your thoughts? You have any?
I had a couple.
Did you?
I had a couple. Yeah.
I mean, Joe Biden had a cold, so
I
threw him off a bit.
For him.
Yeah, I felt
for him.
real bad for him.
It was
because the cold made it so he couldn't even get off stage. Yeah, I had to have help from his wife.
The whole thing was okay. So it showed the Joe Biden that we have portrayed,
and we've
tried
been
to
begging
get
people to pay attention
forever.
to. Could you look at the freaking president of the United
States of America
and how compromised he is mentally? Could you look at that, please?
And how embarrassing it is to see him with other world leaders.
Yeah, oh man. Oof.
And they have to guide him around. I hope that actually showed some of that. I hope.
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so as well.
And I mean, the Democrats are in full-fledged panic.
Saying, well,
so they should
all
be.
These people that have been saying that how wonderful he is behind the scenes. If they're going to spin it, I guess they spin it that this was just a one-off, and he still is doing backflips down the aisle on Air Force One.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
He's so spry in private.
Right.
The Joe Biden they see is like an athlete,
another person. Right.
Yeah.
So there's that. But on the other hand, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's the guy. It's kind of sad.
I can't stand him too much.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not going.
I don't feel any sympathy for him right now.
Nope, man, destroying.
He's just too evil.
Our country, 250 years of a great nation.
I mean, we're just days away from
our kids are inheriting
being
his
out
crap.
of office, right? I mean,
206
I'm not going to feel any sympathy for this.
No, that's wrong. You need to fix that. There's no way that's true.
200.
It's only like 3 days now, right?
No way it's still over 200.
Honestly, it makes you wonder how long he is going to be president. Is Jill Biden going to be packing up her stuff in November or next week? You really don't know.
That's true.
Jill's not going to pack. Well, first of all, Jill's not packing anything.
Thanks
for the do people.
Yeah, thanks for taking the analogy and blowing it into that. But here's my point. who do you hand the presidency to at this point? You want Kamala Harris a shot at this? They don't want that.
No, they don't want that, but I mean, I'll take it.
Okay, but I mean, the Democrat Party has got to walk a fine line here, because if you somehow give this November election opportunity to someone other than Kamala, then you're taking your DEI candidate and you're saying, no, we're not doing that. We're going to have a white dude from California be our nominee.
Whose track record in administration is terrible.
Terrible. All of it. Terrible.
They're in a tough position.
They sure
really
are.
Tough.
Good. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
but they're in a really tough position.
But whoever they put up there is going to be more competent than Joe.
Last night, CNN actually did some journalism. They actually did some fact-checking.
Oh, wow.
CNN fact checks on tonight's high-stakes debate. Okay, false or misleading Biden claims at CNN debate.
Okay.
Billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. Come on now.
This guy sucks.
Trump told Americans to inject some bleach during COVID crisis.
Look at CNN.
Nope.
Wow.
Border Patrol endorsed him.
Well, these aren't all false. They're just misleading.
Right. I was really surprised on the Border Patrol thing that he so blatantly said. And I'm like, when he's saying it, I thought, what?
That's not true.
I'm sure I heard them endorse Trump. Really? No, he just made it up, apparently.
Yeah, of course
what else did
endorse me.
CNN?
I mean,
How
I'm sure
weird
his
is that?
people are telling him.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff?
There is other stuff.
Oh, wow.
Unemployment was at 15% when he took office. Another lie. Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Another lie.
Yes.
$200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare.
There's no way that's true.
A lie. Border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. Another lie.
CNN.
No kidding.
Said he was the only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Another lie. $15 per shot cap on insulin in Medicare. Another lie.
CNN fact-checking the lie.
Wow.
Again, these are false and misleading. They're
False
not,
and
they're
misleading.
not lies.
They're lies. They're just flat out communist lies.
I'm just speaking on behalf of the spin room.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. We want their voice heard for sure. We really do. But he had a cold.
Oh, yeah.
And he still managed to quote, and I'm quoting now, unquote.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
CNN's flash poll shows that 67% of Americans feel Trump won that debate last night. CNN's poll. 67-33. That's incredible.
Damn Trump back.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Incredible.
I mean,
incredible.
Boy, the post-debate stuff was incredible as well. I mean, it's just the Democrat Party was in meltdown
because
mode.
Of course they are, right?
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by the reaction because I thought they'd continue to try to deny it. But it was as if many of them are seeing him for the first time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with you people? Where have you been? Do you live in a cave in Afghanistan and you just don't have cell service there? How is it possible you haven't seen the meltdown of this man over the last 4 years?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's been
stunning to me.
It is.
That part is stunning.
It is, and who knows? I don't know what they're going to do. I guess
I don't either. I mean, they're trying to switch him out already.
I mean, I guess you move RFK in there. Keith's boy.
Dude, that's such a smart idea. Why have no one has said that?
Wait,
no one has said that.
Stop it. I said this weeks ago.
That's what I was thinking of.
I said this is what this party should do weeks ago. Nice try. But if they've checkmated themselves.
Come back home. RFK, please come back
We're
home.
sorry.
Come
We're
back
sorry.
home.
But by having
really
Kamala
up.
Harris as your VP, you've checkmated
You got
yourself.
nowhere to go.
Because if you put her in there, you can't replace her because then you're this racist party that's... You'd get a DEI candidate, and you're refusing to use her. You're going with Gavin Newsom, a white guy from California. I think that's hysterical what the Democrat Party has done.
Do not come.
Do not
come.
Not so strong on the border.
And Kamala, I mean, Kamala is so disliked and unlikable,
right?
That they know they can't run her. So it has to be somebody else.
It has to be.
But I don't know who. I don't know who.
It's incredible.
Might as well bring in Richard Gephardt. I mean, that's been the joke for years. But it's actually not that bad an idea. At least he hasn't been tainted with the latest stuff that's going on in that party.
So what? They have to go to Kamala and say, "Look, nobody likes you. You know that.
You can be president.
You got no choice.
Kamala,
no choice.
I like you, Kamala. Between you and me, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, people don't like you.
Right.
So
you don't poll well.
You have to tell us, go out there right now and say, you don't want to be president. You can't run. So it's up to me. I have decided.
Save the party.
Doug and I have decided that we need to spend some more time together.
Okay, or you go to Kamala if you're a Democrat Party head and you convince her we'll give you 6 months as president. Right, you get all the benefits that come with that, lifelong protection, and we get you the pension and everything. But
you can't run.
You can't run. Okay,
Yeah.
and then if she balks at that, then I'm sure you have plenty of dirt.
That's
on her.
That would be a good gig, though.
I eat no for breakfast.
To be that in that lame duck section right there, like Joe steps down now and she's president, and then gets to walk away, but still claim to have been president.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good gig. I'd like that.
Another
gig.
thing that.
Yeah,
we proposed from this side of the room a few months ago. I'm telling you, man, this guy is not going to be on the ballot in November.
Oh, here we go with more RFK
Big Mike.
Okay.
I didn't say anything about RFK.
Mike.
What are you talking about?
You know that Michelle Obama's phone is ringing off the hook, as if it were on a hook, but it's ringing right now. Michelle, is there any way we can convince you to get into this race?
You're our only hope.
You're our only hope.
She is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the DNC.
Yep, she is.
That can't happen. That cannot happen.
She's just not interested in it. So
good.
Would have happened by now if she were.
She hates the country too much.
She does. She does. And she likes her position right now too much.
Yeah.
You know, they're making too much money. They got a sweet life. Why ruin that? Mm-hmm. Why get back in the limelight and have to make decisions like this and have people, critique your every move? She doesn't want that.
But would you rather, if you're Michelle Obama, would you rather live in luxury for the rest of your life or destroy the country that you hate so much? What a toss-up.
It is. It's a tough decision.
It's a toss-up.
Really. All right. To get to the post-debate stuff, you got to start with Jill Biden leading Joe off the stage.
Holy cow.
This is something. Watch this.
Presidents making their way off the CNN debate stage.
There goes Trump.
Jill Biden, the First Lady, has come out. Former President Trump walking off the stage.
Look at this.
The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals from our CNN Flash poll and swing state focus group. We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks.
He can't get down the stairs.
Inside both campaigns with me here, CNN political commentator Scott J.
Zoom in on that if you can. Watch this.
The first debate of the 2024 campaign and the earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals from our CNN Flash
taking him by the hand and arm.
State focus group.
The floor,
we'll be talking to surrogates, including President Harris,
saying,
fact checks
watch
from
out for the
Daniel
staff.
Dale and new reporting from inside both campaigns. We'll be here, CNN political commentator Scott J.
I really wish Jake Tapper would have shut his mouth and focused on the real story there. And that's that the president of the United States can't get down the stairs without his wife. That's incredible. Oh, my gosh.
Well,
Trump just saunders off stage.
You couldn't see the stairs with the lighting. That's a problem.
Oh, no. We're back to the Jeff Fisher spin room.
Yeah.
You can't even tell there's a stair there. That's why the floor manager came over and said, hey, Mr. President.
They're lit up, Jeffy. You can tell.
You can't even see them.
They're lit. They're literally all lit up.
Wow. President of the United States right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I know.
I did not see that last night. I turned it off by then. Oh,
I did not see that until I woke up this morning either.
That clip is everywhere.
I know. And there's a clip of them at this rally. So they left Atlanta and they go to North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
That's where he's at.
He's in Raleigh.
Then he's got to go up to New York today for his big gay LGBTQ pride
Stonewall,
parade.
Right?
Yeah, Stonewall parade with Elton.
That doesn't start till 8:30 p.m. Dude is going to be fried.
Wow. So
as if he weren't already.
This clip from their North Carolina rally.
Which one do you want here? What are we
rally.
We'll do 43 first.
43?
I honestly, I saw it this morning and I thought that's not real. I just moved on. I laughed. I went, okay, it's not real.
You thought
and
it was
I moved on.
Deep fake.
I actually did thought it was fake. And then I
answered every question.
You answered every question.
And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't even know where he's at.
He doesn't know what she's saying. It looks like a birthday party for a 110-year-old. Look at that. He's just like, hey,
No,
what are
you
you
did
saying?
such a great job. You answered every
He's
question.
a good little boy.
You
little
answered
boy.
every question they
Let me
asked.
ask the crowd.
That's what she's
did
I
Trump
know.
do? Why?
And then the 14 people in the room lie. Oh, gosh, that is so
Who's
bad.
a good little boy answering all the questions? You are.
Let's see how Van Jones, big Democrat pundit, let's see how he felt about the performance. Was he really excited about it?
34.
That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all.
Yeah, that was painful.
He did not do well at all.
No, he
And
sure didn't. Look, this is a dirge.
I'll give you the analysis. You kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart.
Okay, do that.
I love that guy.
Oh,
That's a good man.
No.
He loves his country.
No.
He's doing the best that he can.
This is garbage.
But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that.
Yeah, he sure did.
I think
He
there's a
sure
lot of
did.
people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention.
I tell you, man, that is buyer's remorse right there.
Wow. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then Van Jones went a little bit further. Here's what he had to say.
I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man.
No.
He loves his country.
No.
He's doing the best that he can.
No. Well,
but he had a
that's
test to
probably
meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base. And he failed to do that.
Is this 35?
And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him
go further here.
consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention. And there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was
taking the bull by
not
the
what we
horns.
needed from Joe Biden.
If
And
he
it's
will
personally
allow us to
painful
do that.
for a lot of people. It's
And
not
he
just
won't.
panic, it's pain.
He should have said if
of what was
Joe
on
will
tonight.
allow us to do
It's
that.
it's not just panic, but it is panic. But it's also pain.
Yes.
How great. I mean, I'm a bad person because I'm reveling.
You are.
I'm
You are.
reveling in their
No.
agony this morning, but they deserve it so badly. They deserve it so much.
You love your country, right?
And I love my
And
country.
when you love this country,
yes.
then you want to see the Democrat Party fail at everything they try.
Yeah.
Screw them. No, I am glad to see this meltdown. I just don't want them to put somebody in there that can beat Trump.
I know. Well, that's true.
That's the risk now. That's what we're in.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Whew. Here's MSNBC's Nicole Wallace talking about conversations that are happening right now.
Uh-oh.
And there is a conversation happening inside Biden's circle, and certainly a much more frank conversation happening inside the Democratic coalition. And I think there will be stories of a lot of concern about the performance tonight. And I think
when you say conversations happening, what do you mean?
I think people are talking. I think the conversations range from whether he should be in this race tomorrow morning to what was wrong with him. I mean, he has a cold.
This started 5 minutes into the debate last night. Conversation started. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
In fact,
That was his first meltdown. His first big meltdown was 5 minutes in.
Again, I mean, where have they been? Why have we
right.
They've been delusional. These are the same people that are telling us,
He's the sharpest. He's incredible
ever.
behind the scenes. He's the best. He's wonderful. He's
right
the best communicator.
I wish Trump would have said at one point too about whenever Biden mentioned a couple times about being a convicted felon. Yeah, you can't even be tried.
Right, you're mentally unfit.
You're mentally,
right.
They ruled you
that would have been
mentally
great.
unfit.
That would have been great
to be tried.
And it's pretty clear that you are.
Thank you.
Mentally unfit.
Right.
By your performance tonight, that would have been awesome.
Jake, how much time do I have left? Okay.
I don't need the time. Give it to him. Let him dig his own hole. You know, after a week of intensive, and we were told the whole time, he's in intensive preparation for the debate.
Camp David.
Camp David didn't do anything else and didn't go to D.C. all week. He's been at Camp David preparing for this, and you were this bad. Yeah, they're in meltdown mode right now. They don't know what to do. Here's Joy Reid talking about being on the phone during the debate.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate.
Oh, the new dude.
With
or don't.
Obama,
That's a don't right there.
world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak.
Yeah, and demented.
Yeah.
He's got dementia. Can you please just acknowledge it?
Mm-hmm.
That would maybe help the situation because you want him out of the way now. Well, say what you really mean. Say what you really see. Finally, for the first time. Geez, we've been telling you this for years.
I mean, I will say, I as sad as it is, it will be nice when they turn their fire onto Jill because she deserves every piece of the flame.
She's really hideous.
And this is exactly why they made this debate in June.
Yeah,
to give them
they'd have time
for Plan B.
Right.
What else we got?
But again, he's in control of this.
Correct.
He's the nominee.
That's what Van Jones is saying.
If he allows it, because that's what has to happen. He has to step aside and say, look, okay, I'm stepping down from the nomination. I'm opening the convention. I want an open convention now. Get your nominee. That's what he would have to do. And I just don't see him doing that.
I don't either. I don't, because
when does the 25th Amendment come into play?
Oh, that'd have to be Kamala. And she's not going to do it.
No way.
I don't think it ever comes into play.
No way.
Not with these people in office.
Is it anybody in the cabinet or just Kamala?
I think it's just Kamala.
Oh, okay.
But we could check on that.
Be a good move on her part, though.
It's been a while since I've looked into that.
I don't want to be president. Back to Keith's point. I don't want to be president, but he's got to go. We know that he's been struggling, and so we need to get rid of him. I'll be your president for the duration. However, next 200 days.
But I'm not running.
I'm not going to run. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to save the country. I love the country. This is Kamala Harris speaking, which
would be a lie as well. Yeah.
But that would be a good move on her part.
It would. She's not going to do it.
That's why it's not going to happen. That's right.
By the way, Benny Johnson clearly got into Joy Reid's head when they were doing that crosswalk in New York. Talking about, did you steal Trump's hair or did he steal yours? And now she's lost the wig, and now she's
lost the wig.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say go back to the other way.
Yeah. According to the Googles, the vice president, together with the majority of either the principal officers of the executive departments,
the cabinet,
or
so it is together with.
Yeah, or such other body of the Congress.
But she has to be involved.
She has to be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not.
But CNN trashed Joe a bit. Cut 38. Let's see how they trashed him. Cut 38.
The panic that I am hearing from Democrats is not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far.
Good.
And a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about Trump's lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight. But the problem for Biden was that Trump was able to take sometimes incredible falsehoods and turn them into some kind of argument.
Give me an example.
Biden's answers were, in a lot of cases, not coherent.
Nor were they true.
That he was not
they were
able
lies
to
as well.
Take pretty straightforward answers and answer them to the American public. And then also, at some points, bringing things up that teed up Trump attacks. So there's a real concern here tonight that there's been some real damage done that cannot be undone. Biden solidified the perception among voters, but especially among his base.
Yeah.
They were hoping that tonight would be a game changer.
Right.
They are now
and it was
seeing a president who is in the White House who they do not necessarily believe can do this for another 4 years.
Thank you. Jeez. Thank you for finally getting there. We could have saved you a lot of stress and anguish if you would have listened to us 4 years ago.
I do love the fact that Democrats are in meltdown mode and trying to figure out Plan B, because now they have to focus their energies on who's going to be on the ballot for them. And that is time and energy that they could be spending on attacking Trump. Instead, now they've got to get their own house in order before they can go turn their attention back on him. I love it. I love it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Here's more Democrats in panic mode. Cut
was
39.
a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials. It involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket. And they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting.
Halting.
You know who they have to convince, and I don't know how difficult it would be to convince him, but Barack Obama is the one who could change this completely.
Yeah.
If Barack Obama says, look, Joe needs to go, then he would go.
Yep.
That'd be it. That would be the death knell for his presidency.
Yeah, it's his party.
Yeah.
No one thinks Joe Biden is the head of the Democrat Party.
This is for Barack Obama to decide.
That's a great point. And he could come out in the next couple days.
If he did that, that'd be the end.
I was with him last week, and I saw the decline, and I thought, no, that was just last week. It was a one-off. It's not. You got to go.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see. Then there's Joe Biden.
And sadly, then it might be. And Mike, get on up here.
Mike, get up here. So you want to go back to the North Carolina party?
Yeah, let's go back to the party.
Jill
and Joe. This is Biden.
I think this is the one where you get the fake run, right?
Okay.
No, it's not? Okay. Well, all right. Well, we got to see this clip anyway.
God love you all. Heading to North Carolina. All right. Thank you. I want to go home with you.
Oh, this is still in Atlanta?
Thank you.
I want to go home with you.
Okay, so
Okay.
Jill's thing was they were still.
The microphone's too heavy. Certainly can't swing a golf club. Now he doesn't know what to do.
This ain't Texas.
What do I do now?
He just loaded his pants. That's what that was.
Now here comes a fake run. Here we go. All right.
There it is. There it is. He did get it in.
Roll that back 10
That's
seconds.
awesome.
We got to see the loading his
You wanna
pants
see the
and then
vigor?
the fake jog.
The vigor?
He doesn't know what to do.
Here he is. Okay. Yeah. You can,
Once again, to get done with this.
Now what?
And I turn around 'cause here's the
This is
mic-
heavy.
You
hold
take
it.
that.
Yeah, you hold it.
Okay.
That poor lady is like, I'm a DJ. What are you doing asking me stage directions?
And then here you go. Up the fake jog for 2 steps.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So this was still in Atlanta. Then they go to North Carolina.
Jeez, I
So this
hate
wasn't in. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. Okay, that makes more sense.
And good to see that they had the rails up, 2 rails up on the stairs
Yeah,
getting
they
off
did.
that stage. Not just 1, 2.
Yep.
Wow.
Any of these post-debate clips that we... oh, gosh. What's the Sink Unger guy? The freak?
Oh, yeah. Even Young Turks.
52?
52.
Even Young Turks were apoplectic last night. Look at this.
And the whole time the split screen is killing Biden because he's got his mouth open, he looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in like disastrous shape. Those are going to be played a billion times in viral video after viral video.
As they should,
this is
doofus.
An epic disaster.
Epic disaster.
I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all.
That's for sure.
This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life.
Yeah.
And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Was that the Democrat Party burning to the ground behind him?
That sure was.
Okay, now, and Harry Sisson, is that 45 here?
No, that's
this is Chris
Mowry,
the other guy.
Okay.
The slap his bicep guy. Here it is.
You didn't? I think maybe the format could change a little bit for the next one.
What do you think could change about the format?
I think that the hosts, and I know this is a hard line to draw, but I think that the hosts, it felt more like a circle of people talking as opposed to a debate. And I think that there was a lot of times specifically where Trump was able to say things that were just factually untrue, and nobody really pressed him, and then we just move in a circle. And so I think that there needs to be a better format to press Trump harder on some of the issues.
Do you think Biden came off healthy and well, or he said he had a cold?
Yeah, well, I actually haven't. Did he say he had a cold?
His campaign, apparently, it's reported that he has a cold and he is taking COVID tests.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was great. I thought he was informative.
I thought he was great.
Somebody's getting paid.
Okay. All right. I can't with this guy.
I know it's possible that he didn't hear the exact quote that Joe Biden said.
Oh yeah, what was that quote?
During the debate.
What's the quote?
Oh, this quote?
Yeah.
I'm quoting now.
Okay.
Unquote.
It's possible he didn't hear that.
He did hear that. That's why he said he was great, because he's right about that. All right, we got much more greatness coming up about this debate in overtime. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe.
Pat Originals.
Pat Originals to save $30 off your subscription. Do that now, and we'll see you on overtime coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.